Good morning, my friends. How wonderful it is to wake up on the seashore to the gentle sound of the surf. Yesterday, I crossed the border from Georgia to Turkey and found myself in a small Turkish village. On the one hand, Turkey was a simple and logical choice, but on the other hand, I wanted to visit Armenia and Azerbaijan, but unfortunately, the hostility between these countries complicates travel through them. After all, having visited one of the countries, it will be impossible to enter the other. Well, let's forget about the problems, because the whole world awaits us. I will definitely visit these countries, but later. And now, beautiful, sunny Turkey awaits me, and now, I suggest you go on a trip through it, together with me. After breakfast and packing my camp into my backpack, I returned to the road along the Black Sea to try to catch a ride. Since I planned to travel around Turkey by hitchhiking, after waiting only 10 to 15 minutes, I stopped a truck and a Turkish truck driver agreed to give me a ride to the nearest city. Watching the beautiful landscapes of the Black Sea from the truck window, I saw a school of dolphins swimming in the same direction as me. I don't know how it really is, but I took it as a sign that my trip would definitely be successful. The weather is great and sunny, I'm in a great mood, and I'm driving through beautiful Turkey, heading towards adventure, and it's amazing. From the very first minutes of my stay in Turkey, I have been in high spirits, probably because I have been to this wonderful country more than once on a tourist package and know what to expect from visiting it. However, I found myself in the north of the country on the Black Sea coast for the first time, and I am already looking forward to new impressions. Turkey is an amazing country with a rich history, which is comfortably located between Europe and Asia and has absorbed the characteristic features of both continents. Its western part, where Istanbul, Izmir, and Antalya are located, is richer, more densely populated, and faces Europe. The other, stretching from Ankara to the east with its harsh, endless, and monotonous Anatolian steppes, preserves its Asian heritage. The west of Turkey attracts with the fabulous magic of Istanbul and the longest and cleanest coastline of the Mediterranean. Adventurers and free travelers like me feel better in eastern Turkey. The food and drink are cheap without sacrificing quality, and the kindness and responsiveness of the locals is amazing. Both in the west and in the east there are many ancient ruins, from the Stone Age to the Hittites, Greek and Roman cities, monuments of the Byzantine and Ottoman empires. As a rule, it was for these cities that the most beautiful places were chosen for construction. Natural wonders are spread everywhere. Caves and waterfalls, canyons and volcanoes, lakes and waterfalls, as well as impressive mountain landscapes. Turkey's role in today's global society is more balanced and important than before. It strives to become a cultural bridge between Christian Europe and the Islamic Middle East. Since the reforms of Ataturk, Turkey has remained a model of a modern, secular state, despite the fact that 99% of its population is Muslim. Trabzon is the largest port on the Black Sea coast, located in the northeastern part of Turkey. The history of the city goes back to 1000 BC. Trabzon was founded by Greek colonists, and at one time, the city was the western end of the Great Silk Road. Throughout history, Trabzon has always been a trading center where ships from other Black Sea cities sailed, and from where, through the Zigana Pass, land routes to Central Asia began. During the period of the Roman and Byzantine empires, the city retained sovereignty and even was the capital of an independent state, but eventually surrendered to the Ottoman Empire. During the First World War, Trabzon was captured by the Russians, so the city is home to a large Russian community that grew after the collapse of the USSR. Trabzon is located in a wonderful place between the sea and the Pontic Mountains, whose steep wooded slopes descend directly to the shore. The city is made up of three main districts, all located on mountain terraces. The business district is closest to the sea in the southern part. To the west is the historic district with old buildings and churches around the Ortahisar Mosque. Of particular note is Kundu Rachi Lar, a distinctive bazaar with wooden buildings and narrow passages. On a hill at the western edge of the city stands the wonderful Byzantine church of Hagia Sophia. Trabzon is separated from the rest of Turkey by mountains and is somewhat isolated, which makes it a unique city. Even today, many of its residents, being Muslims, still speak a distinct Greek dialect. Guys, climbing up to the observation deck, I came across a wonderful historical artifact. This is a cannon from the time of the Russo-Turkish War, on which the stamp is still preserved. Obukov Arms Factory, City of St. Petersburg, and then I remembered the lines from a popular song of one Russian group. We are going to the east, the crescent moon is silent, and again, a mysterious wind blew from the east. The crescent moon is silent, and again, St. Petersburg and Istanbul are going to war. After hanging the observation deck, I went down to the sea again, where there is a small but cozy marina from where every morning local fishermen in their original boats go out to sea. So guys, I went out on the road again and found myself in a passing car. This time I was picked up by a great guy named Matt. Surprisingly, Matt is a football player for the local football team Trabzon. Unfortunately, Matt is not going exactly where I need to go, but in my direction. So this is not a problem, and I will ride with him as much as possible, and then I will stop a new car. Fortunately, hitchhiking in Turkey is very cool. With my new friend Matt, I drove some distance, but it was time to say goodbye to the footballer and change cars. I raised my finger up and, after about 30 minutes, a trucker stopped again. The driver of my new truck, unfortunately, does not speak English at all, but through a translator I managed to find out that he was driving from Azerbaijan to Istanbul and invited me to go with him. However, it was too early for me to go to Istanbul, and I decided to get off in the city of Samsun so as not to drive too much at once and not to miss anything interesting. But this will be later, and for now, the beautiful landscapes of the Black Sea coast of Turkey continued to flash outside the window. Cozy villages with tiny marinas, parking for local fishing boats were replaced by small towns with berths and repair bases for large ships. In each settlement, there were always several mosques. For all, along the entire coast of the sea, there were cozy parks with gazebos for relaxation and picnics by the sea, as well as sports grounds with exercise machines. Sometimes thick clouds descended from the mountains to the sea, and I moved like a hedgehog in a fairy tale fog from a Soviet cartoon. We drove and I enjoyed every kilometer of the way, admiring the beautiful landscapes of Turkey and anticipating new impressions. By evening, I reached the city of Samsun, the second largest city on the Black Sea coast, and immediately set out to explore it. Walking along the city's embankment, I discovered a memorial complex dedicated to Mustafa Kemal Ataturk, the first president of the Turkish Republic and the founder of the modern Turkish state. On May 19, 1919, Ataturk addressed the Turkish youth in the city of Samsun, announcing mobilization to fight the troops that had invaded Turkey. Ataturk's speech marked the beginning of the National Liberation War of the Turkish people. Ataturk arrived in Samsun on the ship Bandırma, which played an important role in Turkish history and which is now installed as a museum on the city's embankment. Given my love for ships, I must definitely board the Bandırma. Let's do it together right now. Bandırma is a museum ship installed on the Samsun embankment. The ship was built in Scotland in 1878 and became part of the Turkish merchant fleet. Before that, the ship sailed under the British and Greek flags. The ship became famous for delivering Ataturk to Samsun in 1919. Ataturk's landing in Samsun was the beginning of the Turkish Revolution. In one of the ship's cabins, there's a hall of honor with wax figures of important people of those events. Also on board, there is a cabin for the ship's captain and the bedroom of Mustafa Kemal Ataturk. It is a pity that you can't go sailing on the Black Sea on this ship. I think it would be an unforgettable adventure. But alas, in 1924, the ship was decommissioned and installed for eternal parking in the Turkish city of Samsun. The tour of the upper deck of the ship is over, and now let's go down to the hold, where the second museum exhibition is located with documents and artifacts reflecting the significant events of those years. Now, I invite you to admire the museum exhibition inside the ship, and the interesting military exhibits installed on the embankment, including torpedoes, mines, guns, and even an airplane. Enjoy watching. In the meantime, enjoy your walk through the museum. As a thank you for the video, subscribe to my channel, write a comment, and share this video with your friends. This will help me develop the channel. You can also help me with a donation for filming new films. All links will be in the description of the video. See you soon, my friends.